No, the state's for smashing and burning, not for giving me
That's it.
permission to live my life.
Yeah, the bourgeois state needs to come down. But anyways, that's another conversation for another. Hey, but anyways, but I guess it's a good leeway into the guns, I guess.
Oh, well, that started young as well. Also with my grandfather, I grew up in Pennsylvania where like deer hunting is religion. Like the first day of deer season is most businesses are closed unless you handle like coffee for hunters, taxidermy, butchering, gun shops. Like school, it was a school holiday. A lot of businesses didn't open. So growing up around guns was just like it was as common as cars. Like I was given a 22 rifle at the age of 10, and I was taught that this is a tool. I wasn't even allowed to load it for a year until I was able to show that I could like carry it safely, handle it safely. I knew how to clean it, service it. We had actually had to like take apart the entire thing. Grandfather did an acid wash on the barrel to get some of the rust off. We had to strip and refinish the wood. It was, and I wish more people could have that experience so they could have that appreciation of what a firearm is. It really is nothing but a tool,
Mhm.
and it can be a toy. As much as I know a lot of people hate to say that, it can be a lot of fun if you use them safely and in the right context. But had got into like competition shooting. I kind
Oh
of
wow.
fell out of hunting for a good number of reasons. One being when I was younger, we were a bit poor, so sometimes it really was a subsistence thing.
Mhm.
Um, it's not to a point where I have to kill something, to feed my household, so it's less likely. I can't really call on that, but I do love, got into sport shooting. I had actually had a huge collection of guns till I was in about my 20s. I had lost my daughter through some unfortunate
Oh
circumstances.
fuck. I'm sorry to hear
My
that, bro.
whole my whole like mental state went to shit.
For
And
sure.
in a moment of clarity, I just hurried up and sold everything. It's like I'm gonna be a danger to either myself or someone else. So, and as much as I regret losing a lot of things, like I lost a shotgun my grandfather got as a child in the 20s, like
Mhm.
something that really would have been like it's a family heirloom and very collectible that is irreplaceable. But at the same time, I'm still here and not in prison, and nobody had to get hurt because of me being bad with handling my trauma. I've since gotten back into firearms just because, well, one, they're fun. It's a really great activity to get out and shoot. It's an excellent. It's very purgative to get a lot of your bad feelings out. You almost
Yeah.
go into a meditative state where I want to condense everything that's bothering me down to a little ball and psychically put it into that bullet that I'm sending 200 yards down into a piece of paper. Or out here in Nevada, we shoot at a lot of trash that people just dump out in the desert. You go out shooting, it's like, hey, targets, all right.
Nice.
That we I don't have them handy, but I know I have a bunch of the SRA targets. It's the Klansman silhouette with the little
Nice.
ring around them. We like to leave those out every once in a while too, just to, good shot up Klansman with the 10-hole blown out. Kind of like, hey, just in case those types happen to be around, let them know that like, there's people that are ready to stand up to you.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, and it's amazing that you guys have that. For me, in terms of guns growing up, it would be the complete opposite. Both based on my personal family experience. My mother never even let me have toy guns, toy swords, toy knives, nothing. She was very very against alcohol and weapons in the house. That and obviously, the country that I live in, Canada, it's very strict gun control. I mean, you're gonna have like people who own guns are gonna be hunters, militia people, like right wing militia people in the West and stuff like that, and
uh,
criminal elements. That's pretty much it. And yeah, so it's not normalized. That's why I really like what you were saying before about it's very important to look at guns as a tool. It's very important to learn how to carry, do safety, clean it out before you can do things like have fun and go shoot KKK members, on a hypothetical piece of paper, right? So it's very
yeah,
good, and I wish that we could have had that culture in Canada as well. I do wish that it existed here.
well, that's kind of one of the sad things is that culture exists just with the wrong, a lot of the, well, I don't even want to say the wrong people, but there's a lot of people that, like a lot, like me, I had that, liberal bias a little bit for a while where it's like, I went through a period. It's like, yeah, maybe gun control's not so bad until you start looking into things like, well, the Haymarket martyrs, being like half Irish from Pennsylvania, knowing about the Molly Maguires and like, the Blair Mountain riots and like
Hmm.
all these great labor movements where had working people not been armed, they would have just been killed and
Yeah.
that would have been it. Um, so, there's a great importance there. I know, in a lot of anarchist circles, a lot of people are vegan, so I'm not going to expect there to be a lot of hunters,
Hmm.
but and that's unfortunately where a lot of people come into that culture from, and a lot of people are going to miss out on that. Which, it's not bad that people aren't going out and hunting, but it's like, at least having a firearm. Unfortunately, the way things are, it's becoming a necessary tool. Like I don't know if um, geez, and I forget the name. I want to say it's the Unicorn Riot Ranch out in Colorado.
Okay.
It's a ranch full of trans people that, I know at Yellow Peril Tactical, Dorner Tactical, and a couple of the other lefty like gun sites were kind of raising money to send out body armor, ammo, because these people were being like harassed violently by a whole bunch of right wing groups because, well, no real good reason, but if you have a whole bunch of trans people trying to be happy and live their lives, there's going to be some right wing asshole that's just going to take offense to that for
Yeah, of course, for
whatever
nothing.
reason it
And
may be.
not only just take offense, but literally try to attack, harass these people. That's why it's a good idea,
Yeah.
maybe for trans people to hold a concealed carry. You know what I mean? At the end of the
Oh,
day, any bigot comes up to you, a fucking bullet in the head, and it's over, right?
hey, it's sad to say, but if you're going to be met, if someone's bringing that kind of force to you, you should be able to meet them with equal force.
Absolutely.
I wish it weren't the way that way, but if that's how the world is, it's better to be prepared than just become a victim because you're just living the way you were born.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I guess that's at least my hot take on it.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. There's been a discussion here